Alright, so before I get too far ahead of myself, I'm in the process right now of changing out my hood cable. So I've been having issues with it, unfortunately. Now here's the new one. It seems to be a common issue with these cars, but they like to break down here. Mine was broken clean off. I didn't even have the pieces for it. So up here, I have not disconnected the cable just yet, but I'm going to try something that's going to make this quite a bit easier. So here is the inside part of the cable, which is what you're looking at right here. And as you can see with this one, there's a hole for a bolt to go through to hold that bracket in place. So I'm just removing that right now. It's kind of a pain in the ass because the carpet's in the way. Now that bolt's out, so if you look at the new one, you can see there's a little lip right there that goes around and locks in place. So that's pretty easy to remove. I just pulled it back and popped it out like that. And now the camera's battery's about to die, unfortunately. Well, so now I'm back with my phone. Got the bracket out, all nice and easy. So we have an issue with this carpet in the way. That's going to be easy enough to rectify. But if you guys look at the cable, it goes all the way to the back to that rubber piece right there, which goes into the firewall. According to this one, it just screws on. So you just need to screw it off and pull it back. So let's go ahead and pull the carpet back, just enough to gain access. So I just popped the bottom part of the cable out of the bracket, just like that, and just pops out. So now we can go ahead and pull this thing out of here, get it out of the way. And that's now been pulled out. And of course I had to cut myself a little bit with that damn wire. So now here's the fun part. The beginning of the fun part. Let's see if I can even undo this and pull this rubber piece back. I'm probably going to have to cut that off to do this trick. And so with a pair of needle nose, all I did was use that to rotate it. It's kind of at a weird angle in there. And then I just pulled it back on one of the sides. So now we have access to the rest of the cable. Now what you want to do is go ahead and cut this piece off, this rubber piece, and I'll show you guys what to do next with the new one. Now this is the trick I'm going to use to pull the new cable in to replace the entire unit. And I've got the rubber piece up here. I can always throw that forward as soon as I want to, hook everything up. And there's also going to be another trick I'm going to have to do. I'm going to have to take off this whole part, but I'm not there yet. The whole, unit right here. Disconnect the wire from there, and then pull this bottom part out like that. Actually, I can probably do that right now. So that's all I did. Just bent the wire. Not even really bent it, just kind of peeled it back and slid it out. I have the little slot right there. Not all that difficult. So now it'll be a little bit easier to route and move around as we get things going. So before I do anything else, it's probably a good idea to look around in the motor, the engine bay, just make sure that everything aside from this part up here has been disconnected. Now I can't really see it all that well on where this cable's routed. I can see it goes down there underneath the airbox somewhere, so hopefully this isn't going to be all that difficult. But basically what you do is you just remove it from up here and then kind of pull it through very slowly. So I'm going to go ahead, pull this part out. This is the long and really kind of annoying part of the process. What I'm having to do is really find the best way to get the old cable out and get the new one in. And what I'm doing from the inside is I pushed all of the old cable out, minus the part that's hooked up to the electrical tape. And I'm just kind of stringing it forward, trying to get the best angle as possible to get at this thing. But it's kind of hard to do that and hold a camera at the same time, but I'm just really going pretty slow at this and trying to get it out the most efficient way possible. And with a decent amount of cussing, I was finally able to pull it through the rest of the way. So now I just kind of got to route the bottom part right here. It's going to go into the hood underneath all these wires down here. Shouldn't be too difficult, but give it a shot, see what I can do. The rest of this is pretty much the home stretch. It's not all that difficult from this point on. After a good amount of more cussing, finally got the new one routed and installed up here. So I actually did it a little bit differently. I didn't feel like fishing it through this mount here, so I just went ahead and fished it through right here underneath the battery. Everything else is factory other than that part. I don't even know if that's factory or not, but as you guys can see, it's the brand new cable. So now I just have to hook it back up into the car and then bring this rubber piece back up to the top and then just wire it all back up. We route it up here. Just need to make that cable flatten out a little bit more. But now we can go ahead and reinstall the trim piece. That's pretty easy. Just slide it right back over and through. Line up the holes for the screws. And there you have that. And so let's give it a shot. Looks good to me.